Morning, Floyd Stops Christian. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. One of the great things about our walk with the Lord is that we have the option and the opportunity to really pray to Him at any moment, in any situation, in any circumstance. And I think that our prayer life is really the biggest part of our walk with Christ while we're here on earth. And I think that prayer ends up giving us guidance and direction, and also allows us to feel like we can have a helping hand in everybody else's situation. We feel like we can pray for them and try to get them on a better path through what the Lord has done for us. And of all the great people that you can pray for and things that you can pray for, the one thing that I really don't ask God for, and I kind of had this revelation after listening to a sermon out here in California, is humility. And the pastor here made a great point in the fact that it says right there in James 4:10, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord. And that was humbling just to hear that. I mean, I kind of sat back in the pew a little bit. It's one of those things where when you hear it, it sets in on a deeper level. And really, our ego is what I've learned to try to stay away from the most. I can think back to a personal experience, and I always kind of go back to the time when I left for college, and one of those, you think you got everything figured out. And I think my mindset early on in college was, all right, Lord, thanks for all the help to get to this point, but I think I can take it over from here. I think I'm well equipped at this point. And with that attitude, ego really started to filter its way, slowly kind of creep its way into my life. And, I also learned that, ego could be very poisonous. And that goes back to always reminding yourself to be humble and humbling yourself in the sight of the Lord. And one of the great passages here, I'll do a couple readings here from John chapter 8, verse 50. It says, this is Jesus talking, it says, and though I have no wish to glorify myself, God is going to glorify me. He is the true judge. And I think we see this a lot with great Christians have a knack and a way of doing tremendous things and yet truly staying humble. And I've always thought that, the higher you ascend, really the kind of lower to the ground you should be in terms of humility, because you've been very fortunate through the work of Jesus to be put in that point. At least I feel that way. So it goes to show you that we know that the humble are lifted up. Even Jesus says it. And though I have no wish to glorify myself, God is going to glorify me. Another passage I was going to read here from John chapter 7, verse 18. It says, those who speak for themselves want glory only for themselves. But a person who seeks to honor the one who sent him speaks truth, not lies. And I think that's the key for all of us as we go forward, and reminding us that we need to humble ourselves. We can ask God for everything, but God doesn't have to humble us. I mean, sometimes He chooses to through different ways. But in our daily life, I really have come to the point where I believe that it's our duty to humble ourselves in front of the Lord and to realize that He's the one guiding the way. And once we feel like we have too much control, that's when ego starts to work its way into our lives, and that's what can sometimes separate us from the Lord. When that ego gets in there, the humility kind of pushes to the back seat, and also Jesus gets pushed kind of into the background as well, which is kind of the daily routine of what we're always trying to keep the Lord in sight for us. And just one last thing here to move on to as we head to the communion table. One of the things, too, it says in that verse, those who speak for themselves want glory only for themselves. But a person who speaks to honor the one who sent him speaks truth, not lies. And I think the key there is we should all pray to just be a vessel, be an opportunity for Jesus to live through us. And I think that even though our words are coming out of our mouth, if we truly humble ourselves and give up our thoughts and our words and our life to the Lord, He'll speak through us. And that is really, I think, the key to that last verse that we read there in chapter 7 of John. So one of the keys for all of us moving forward is that we continue to humble ourselves, allow Jesus to work through us, and His direction will be made very clear as we live our daily lives. So as we go to the communion table today, let's remember to be humble moving forward with the Lord.